What's up, you guys? It's your girl Jourdan D, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. And in today's video, I'll be showing you guys how I get my everyday makeup look. This is one of my most highly requested videos. I'm lying. Nobody asked for this video. Nobody ever DM'd me and was like, girl, how you do your makeup? But I didn't care. I was still gonna give you guys this routine regardless. So basically, I'm gonna show you guys how I get this simple everyday snatch face. You know what I mean? What products I use, you know, what I use to blend, all that. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy watching this video. I'm gonna stop rambling on. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And let's just go ahead and get right into it, okay? Okay, so one thing I have learned when starting to do my makeup as of recently is that my skin needs to be hydrated. Of course, I've always known that, but I've never really applied that rule to myself. So before I do my makeup, I make sure my skin is well hydrated, nice, glowy, and dewy. So I like to just go in with 3 products. It's nothing real crazy. I like to go in first with some hyaluronic acid. Hyaluronic acid by The Ordinary. And I like to use this because hyaluronic acid kind of gives your skin like a nice plump effect. And when you're doing your makeup, you want your skin to have that nice, you know, glow to it. So I like to use this, just a little bit of it. It's kind of like a little skin prep. I like to put it on before I do my moisturizer and my primer and stuff like that. After I do my hyaluronic acid, I like to go in with my moisturizer. And the moisturizer I like to use, I don't use SPF when I put on makeup just because it doesn't really lay right underneath my skin. I use a CeraVe AM moisturizer, and it doesn't really, I only like the way it lays underneath my makeup. So I like to use the Glow Recipes Watermelon Glow Moisturizer. I got this like years ago in my Ipsy bag, and I just started using it recently. It literally was never open, and I used it one day to do my makeup, and I literally have been in love with it ever since. It gives my skin such a nice like a glow. Like, it just makes it feel real moisturized. It makes it feel real, like, you know, like it's skin. It doesn't feel dry. I don't feel like I'm putting, you know, makeup on top of like just dry and dull skin, you know what I mean? So I like to apply this everywhere, all down my neck and everything, because you know, when your skin is well taken care of underneath and moisturized and prepped right, your makeup just lays 10 times better, you know what I mean? After I do my moisturizer, that's when I go in with my primer, and the primer that I've been living by is this Miss Good Old Milk Hydro Grip. Listen, now I was kind of late to the milk train, you know what I mean? When they first came out, I was like, it's just another hype product. I didn't really see the need for it till one day I went and I got a little mini. I've never turned back. This primer just makes your skin, it gives you the right amount of tackiness and dewiness to where like your skin feels so hydrated. It makes your makeup go on so smooth. Like, I go by minis because y'all know I love to save me a little coin, so I'm a minis girl. So I do 2 minis, and I've had these for a while and they last me a pretty long time. I think I'm gonna break down though and eventually get a full-size bottle because I just use this primer so much. I really do like it. So this is a primer that I like to use, and I like to put it all over as much as I can get out of the tube, you know what I mean? And I just like to apply this to my skin. Don't do this to me today, Stink. Don't do this today, Stink, please. Okay, let me go to the other one. Maybe the other one. Okay, the other one has me. Okay, so after I have my skin all prepped up and primed, I just like to go straight in with my face and my base. So I've been using this Revlon Pot Concealer, and I use this in the shade Deep Dark. This is their Conceal and Fix, and I use this, if this will focus, this is their Conceal and Fix, and I use this as like, I go in with this first to cover up my dark marks because I saw somebody on TikTok. You guys know that lady? She's always going viral on TikTok. She does like the makeup videos. I think her name was like 𝖘𝖚𝖇𝖘𝖈𝖗𝖊𝖓. If I'm butchering her name, I'm so sorry. I'm going to put her TikTok page up here on the screen if I find it. But I saw that she did a video on this, and she uses this to cover her dark marks, and then she puts her foundation over on top of it. So I was like, let me try that, and like, it gave her a really nice coverage. So I'm like, let me try that. So I went to Ulta and I bought the concealer, and honestly, it's been like, I've been using it ever since. It really works. I just like to take a little brush like this. It's not like even like a big brush. I just like to dip it in here. And you guys see I have so much product in here. You don't even need a lot. I like to use this. I kind of like to, like, I guess spot cover or whatever you want to call it. I just like to go over like my dark marks that sometimes don't really get covered with foundation, because even though I put like full coverage foundation on, sometimes you still can see like some of my hyperpigmentation and dark spots underneath it. So this just kind of allows me to get a good coverage and kind of make sure they're covered really well, so I don't have to apply as much foundation, you know what I mean? Because it's summertime, it's hot, and we wearing masks and stuff like that, and it's kind of like, who want to be out here with a full face? Like, you want to give the girls full face, but not really with like a full face on. You know what I mean? So I like to use this, and the key is to get this in a color that matches your skin tone, because this is what's going to allow your foundation to just go over top of it and give you like that like blur effect, kind of with what you're trying to hide. You know what I mean? Because the key is, girls, you guys know this, I say this all the time, the key is to trick the eye. You gotta trick the eye, make people see what you want them to see, not what really's going on. You know what I mean? So I like to just take this and just go over, you know, my little problem areas like so. And also, when you're doing this, let it dry down. Don't go straight in and blend it out. Let it dry down. That's what all your makeup products, to be honest, especially like your concealers, it's best to always let them dry down a little bit, because that's when you get maximum use of your product. Because sometimes when you go in and blend a wet product out with like a sponge or a brush, you get a lot of product taken off because it just hasn't dried down all the way. You know what I mean? But when you do that, of course, you can just let it air dry, you know, let it do its thing. But if you're impatient like I am, I suggest you go out and get your little fan, babes. This fan right here is, I don't go anywhere without it. If I'm going out of town, somewhere I'm traveling, I'm taking this fan with me. Literally, I don't like to wait for stuff to dry down. I like to get my stuff done and out the way. So this fan just speeds up the process. I put it on like so. It's not on. I push the button to on like that, and I turn it on, and I just wait this all over my face. I let it dry. I just like to go in with like a fluffy buffer brush. This one is I cannot talk today. This one is from Morphe. This is their M173 brush. I like this brush. It's a really good brush to like blend out my concealers and stuff. So I like to just go in with this and just kind of just tap this in, kind of just to blend it out a little better. Like, y'all see how I just blend it out so well? Like, can you even see it on camera? Yeah, you probably can't see it on camera, but it's giving in real life, girl. It's giving. So my two foundations at the moment are the Beauty Bakery Insta Bake. I don't know why my camera's not focusing today. The Beauty Bakery Insta Bake, and I'm in the shade 307 CN. If it'll focus, it's not focusing, but I'm in the shade 307 CN. And this, I also use the NARS Soft Matte Complete Foundation, and I am in the shade Marquise in this medium deep 5. I mix these two together because this one is too dark for me, this one is too light for me, so I mix them together and they give me a pretty good color. So that's my foundation routine at the moment. I keep saying I want to go back and get this foundation again, because this foundation is really bomb. Like, if you're looking for like a foundation that's gonna keep you like dry, no oil at all. If it is oil, it's like a little bit, this is your girl. I just like to take them and like put them all over. There's really no specific way. I just kind of put it on my face like that. This is why the freaking bottle of this is so dirty, because this one is darker and then this one is the lightest one. I like to go in with a little bit less of this one than the other one, just because I don't want my makeup to look like too light. You know what I mean? I don't want to give the girls ghost face, you know? So I like to just dot a little bit of this. So to blend out my foundation, I've been using this Real Techniques brush. This is their Instapop cheek brush. This is what it looks like. It's hella dirty. Please don't be like me, wash your brushes, I'm sorry. But I like using this to blend out my foundation, just because it's like an ankle, and you know what I mean? It just has the right amount of density to me, you know what I mean? I used to use the Morphe, this is their M44 brush. I used to use this one. I saw Patrick Starr do a video with this, and he said it's a really good brush to use your foundation with, and it is a pretty good brush, but it's like really thick and dense. I kind of got tired of using this, so I've been seeing a lot of people start using this to blend out their foundation, so I'm like, let me give it a try. You know, it's pretty good. So I think they have a bigger version of this. I'm not sure. I don't think this is their biggest one. I think they have a bigger Instapop brush you can use. So this is the one I have. I'm still not going to be using, so I just like to kind of just take it and just kind of tap in the foundation. I like to focus more so on the outer perimeters of my face, because I don't know. I just like to focus on the outer perimeters of my face. I don't even know why. I thought I had something important to say. I just like to do that and just kind of make my way in. And yeah. Okay, so now that we have our foundation on, I'm gonna go with my first concealer, and the one I like to use is this Tarte Tape shade. I'm using this in the shade Deep 53N, and I like to use this as my first concealer just because it matches. It's not matches my skin tone, but it's not too far off from it, I guess. And it doesn't really like highlight, but it gives me like a base highlight to work with. Cause like I said, I want my under eye to be bright, so I've been trying to try, you know, different things that work for me, you know. So I'm trying to try this little method. I like to apply my concealer like this. Don't ask me why. I really don't know why I apply my concealer like this. I saw it on TikTok and it seemed like it made sense. Okay, so that's what I'm going with. Now, usually if I'm I'm in a rush or I just don't feel like waiting, I would just take my fan and just dry my foundation on. But I'm gonna go ahead and jump in and do my brows. For brows, I usually use the Maybelline Total Temptation brow pencil, but I went to Ulta one day and I was like, ooh, let me try something new. And I picked up their precision brow pencil and I have not turned back. This shit is so fire. I just like it because like it gives me a nice like, it just gives me a nice brow. It works. And so now that we have our brows on, I'm gonna go in and blend out this concealer. And to blend out my concealer, I don't really use a brush anymore. Not a brush, I don't use a sponge. I use like this little mini stipple brush. Again, please excuse how disgusting it looks, but it's like a little mini small stipple brush from 𝖈𝖓. I like to use this to blend out my concealer just because I feel like it doesn't take away too much of the product, you know what I mean? And the sponge absorbs a lot of product. Even though it dries down my concealer, it still takes a little bit too much for me. So I just prefer using this. You can use a brush or a sponge. It's really just a preference thing. So I just like to go in with this. I probably should have sprayed my face, right? To conceal my brows, I'm going to use the same concealer that I used to that I just used to put on my face. I'm going to use the Tarte Shape Tape. I'm going to take this square brush, just like the concealer brush. You can see it. It's by Morphe. This is their M432 brush. I like to use this to do my brows because it's square and it allows me to really get in there and be real precise with it. So I just like to take a little bit on my brush like so. I just go back to our base. So like I said, I like to do 2 concealers. That was my first concealer. I have that blended out. I like to go in with this 𝖘𝖚𝖊𝖊𝖓. This is actually an eyeshadow base. This is their Rumor 5. I like to go in with this as my second concealer because I just like the coverage that it gives me, and it's also really bright. Not really bright, but it's bright enough for me. It's like a flat eyeshadow brush. I'm just gonna put a little bit of this on the back of my hand like so. I'm just gonna place this like really in my inner corner kind of. And I don't really drag this one down. I like to focus this one like right there because that's where I really want it to be like right. I try to get right underneath my eye line, and then I just put like a little bit right here, just a little bit, just to edge it off, just a little bit. I'm gonna take that same small stipple brush. I'm gonna use this to blend out this concealer. I just like to kind of just slightly tap this in. I do like to go in with just a little bit of cream contour, and the cream contour I like to use is the Maybelline Superstay. This is in the shade Deep Bronze 370. I like to just take this and this like fluffy contour brush. I like to take it, I just like to take it and just kind of like brush it on the actual brush because I don't like to apply too much, you know what I mean? I just like a nice, you know, warm effect. I just like to take it and just kind of go along my face and just kind of go upwards in a way and just buffer this in. I just like to swirl her around. So now that we have our cream contour on, our concealer on, let's go ahead and move on to setting my face. And for setting powder, I've been using the Laura Mercier Ace translucent setting powder. I picked this up just to try it because, you know, this is obviously a hype product. Everyone is like, you know, they love this, so I guess it's pretty good. But I like to mix it with my Beauty Bakery flower powder. This is not flower powder, this is their flower not concealer, setting powder, and I use this in the shade Oat Translucent, and I use this in the shade Translucent as well. So this one's kind of more of like a yellow tinted one, and this one is more of like a white kind of powder. So this one adds more of a brightening effect, and this one like really just sets my under eyes. So I'm gonna be using these 2 today, and I use this and I apply it with a dry beauty blender just because I don't really see the need of wetting my sponge. When I do it, it doesn't really make a difference. It kind of makes my makeup worse because the sponge is wet, and then like the concealer, it messes me up. So I prefer using a dry sponge. I just take a little bit on my sponge, I just dip it in here, blow it off, and I just kind of like place this really like try to focus up under my eye, you know. I just take this Real Techniques brush. This is just like a small face brush. I like to use my good old trusty MAC mineralized skin finish powder. This is in the shade Dark Deepest. I've been using this powder forever. I'm trying to find a better face powder. I heard the Fenty one is pretty good. I just been too lazy to go and get it. That's really my only excuse. This is my all over face powder, so I just like to use this to dust off that setting powder that I have and just bring color back to my face. Okay, so now we basically have our face set. I'm gonna go ahead and move on to my bronzer. And for bronzer, listen, I don't use a traditional, you know, bronzer palette or a bronzer product. I use eyeshadow. I use this dusty ass Janice Charles palette, and listen, I know this palette is probably, I don't even think they make this palette anymore, but it works. Okay, she gives me the glow, not the glow, but she just gives me the warm sun-kissed look that I like. So I like to use like these 3 big shades right here, this one, and this one. I just like to take this big fluffy brush and I just go across all 3, just dip them in just like this, to swirl this around the perimeter of my face real quick, you know, nothing too crazy. And you know, she just works, you know, like I said, makeup is really what works for you. To dip this fluffy blush brush, I just like to dip it in here like so. Nothing crazy, just get it in all 3. And I'm gonna take what I have on here and I'm gonna dip it in the Sweet Cheeks, and this is in the shade Bang Bang. So I'm just gonna dip that in there. I like to go right on top where I place my bronzer, contour, whatever you want to call it. I like to go right on top, but more so focus on the apple of my cheeks. I just like to place that right there. So my base is pretty much done, honestly. This is really all I do for my base. So now I'm gonna go in with my first setting spray. I like to use 2 setting sprays. I use the Urban Decay De-Slick one because I think I have oily skin, and this one pretty much keeps me matte all day. And I also use the 𝖈𝖔𝖓𝖊𝖓 Final Seal. Listen, this, you don't need a lot for it, because I notice when I do like saturate my face with this, my face, it makes my makeup look so cakey and just does not look right. But when I use like just the right amount of this, it doesn't make my makeup like not transfer, because I do get transfer with this because it is makeup, but I don't get as much transfer as I normally would. So I like to go in with this one after I've like finished my base, because you know, I just like to set everything in, give my skin a chance to refresh itself, and then I go back in, do my lashes, my lips and all that, then I'll set it off with this. I'm gonna go ahead and put some mascara on. I like to use the Maybelline Falsies mascara. This mascara is bomb. This is their Falsies lash lift. I like to use this on my top and bottom lashes, of course, before I put my mascara on, my lashes on. Lashes I'm gonna be using today are none other than Miss Russian Volume by Kiss. If you guys been watching me, you guys know I always talk about these lashes, how they are the best, because they are. Like, they just give me a nice amount of fluff. So this is a new pack. I love a fresh pair of lashes. I love a fresh pair of lashes. So I'm gonna cut this open, and that's what we're gonna be using to for our lashes today. But before I do that, I like to take my duo glue. I don't really have a specific glue I like to use. I either use duo or like the Kiss, I think it's a super hold glue. Honestly, as long as it applies and dries clear, it really doesn't matter to me. I'm gonna take this ColourPop lip liner. This is their lippy pencil. I think this is in the shade BFF3. I'm just gonna use this to line my lips. To do is I like to take the same 𝖕 Louise base. I like to put this on like a brush, just a little bit, not a lot, just a little bit. I just like to take this, I like to just place this in the middle, just a little bit, just like so, and just kind of blend it out. And then I'm gonna take a lip liner, lip eyebrow pencil. I'm gonna take this NK Beauty one. I'm kind of just gonna go over the edges of it so it won't look like too like blotchy, like, you know what I mean? Like, just to like kind of blend it in better. Okay, so we're pretty much done with our face. This is the final product. I like to go in with my last setting spray, which is the 𝖈𝖔𝖓𝖊𝖓 Final Seal, and you do not need a lot with this. I am begging y'all to not use a lot with this. If you go and get this, take this from me, don't use a lot, because your makeup, it made my face so like crunchy. It made my face feel like, it made me feel like I had makeup on. That's what it made me feel like. So it even says it on the bottle, do not saturate your face, and of course my ass did not read it, so I had to learn the hard way. So I like to use this and spray a little bit but a lot on my face, you know, just to get everywhere, all the bases covered. So this is what I'm gonna do. Let me, like, I got hair on, child, girl. So this is what I'm gonna do. All right, you guys, this is a finished look. This is basically my everyday natural makeup, and yeah, I like it. I feel like this is a face that I perfected in order to work for me, you know, products that work for me. So yeah, this is gonna be the end of the video. I'm gonna link everything that I use in the description box down below, so if you guys want to go check out some products or anything like that, go ahead and feel free to do that. Also, if you have any product suggestions for me, go ahead and leave them down below in the comments. I will very much go and check them out. But yeah, this is gonna be the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching yet another one. If you did, as always, don't forget to like and comment, and most importantly, hit that subscribe button. And I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one. Bye.